I've started a list of things to talk about on the videos. And it's a short list so far, but it'll grow. It'll get bigger. Um, but I've also written down one of the topics of interest for me is uh, well, dating in the 21st century, and that's not for me like specifically because I ain't trying to date. I ain't trying to date. Um, yeah. By the way, I'm 40 years old. Um, I am a little jaded, but I've just made up my mind about a couple of things, and then dating is one of them. I just like I make up and get my I have a nice little quote in one of my other videos. I was on a little rant, and I said I get to put this information together however I want to, and you just get to deal with that. Now that's a little rough. It's kind of harsh. I get that, but it's true. I just get there's some things that I just get to make up my mind about, and women is one of those things. In fact, I don't know really anything that's not on that list. Now I'm an open-minded guy. For clarification, I'm open to having my mind and my ideas changed or altered or refined or whatever. That's totally fine. But at the end of the day, I'm still making up my own mind, right? That's the point. Um, and so I might as well just outline this a little bit, and I'll probably go into more detail as I get more. Never mind. Uh, uh, but a lot of the probably, oh yeah, right. The the intro. Um, when I talk to guys um, younger than me, I really have no problem talking about dating in the 21st century. No, there's no like hiccups. There's no there's no condescension. No one's trying to like correct each other, or like we're just having a dialogue and we're just trying to figure it out. Because dating in the 21st century is kind of weird. And whenever I talk to men older than me about dating in the 21st century, then that's where a lot of the condescension comes from. That's where, um, you know, guys like, no, you've got this wrong. Like, let me fix that for you, kind of thing. Because when men talk about dating, um, and I'm trying not to, I'm not trying to like categorize people, but in my experience, um, when dudes talk about dating, it's it can seem a little misogynistic, I suppose. But we're just being honest, and we're just telling the truth. Like for example, most of the younger men anyway, that I know, don't want anything to do with this kind of modern wave of feminism and whatever. I don't even think anybody really knows what that is, what they're trying to do. It's such a weird, like just hodgepodge of accusations and expectations that I don't think anybody really knows what they want, which is kind of humorous but kind of sad all at the same time. Um, because it's more, in my opinion, it's more divisive than it is uniting. It's not helping anything really. Um, but so we sound a little misogynistic, but the men I know, the men I talk to anyway, aren't misogynist. They love women. We love women. We really do. Um, but y'all get frustrating sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you. Uh, but so anyway, so I find that fascinating. I was trying to talk to a friend of mine who's like 60, 61 or something like that, and he just wasn't giving me much space to make my points. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll make I'll talk to the camera. What's up? And that way he can't interrupt me. Um, so again, I'm 40 years old, and I'm a little old fashioned anyway, right? I'm kind of old school. Uh, Hookup culture doesn't do it for me. One night stands, like that kind of thing. I'm just not into it. I've done that before. I did that as a younger man, and I'm just not interested anymore. Um, I don't want to hook up. I don't want a fucking Tinder profile. I don't want nobody hitting me up for booty calls, nothing like that. I just don't want that in my life. If I'm gonna have sex with you, if I'm gonna give myself to you like that, then I need some kind of commitment, you know? I need I need an agreement. For me, for sex to be enjoyable, I need an emotional connection. I need a real connection with a person, with a human, right? Um, because the smash and pass thing is just it's just for me it just doesn't make for good sex. And again, I've done that before. And true, I was younger, and maybe yeah, I know more now, and I'm more comfortable with my body now. I have a better idea what to do with women's bodies than I did 20 years ago. Like, okay, but um, but I still, I had sex outside of an agreement, just one night stand, and I had plenty of sex inside of an agreement. Um, when I was 20, 25, the whole time I was fucking around or whatever. And I like sex better when there's an emotional connection. That's just me. So um there again, you just get to deal with that. That's just what I like. So cheers. Got some whiskey and Hanson's cane soda. There we go. Boom. Some good shit. No, like there just ain't no weird stuff in it. Yeah, it's just water, cane sugar, fucking citric acid, and whatever the hell they put in there to make it taste like cola. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, shit's good. Cheers. Um, so that's just my take. If anybody that wants to participate in hookup culture, you do what you do. I ain't gonna tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, so you got to deal with that. And but if I'm giving you advice, um, I would tell you to be careful, be real careful, and be honest. Make sure you're honest with yourself and with whoever you're hooking up with. You gotta tell them the damn truth, all right? And nobody likes a liar, male, female, or otherwise. All right, got to tell the truth. And so I'll just throw this out here since I'm talking about it. If I put a channel together and people start following me, and if I'm ever giving you advice, it's gonna sound kind of like that. You just gotta tell the truth. You just have to. Um, no deception. We can't do that. We ain't tricking people. We ain't poking holes in condoms, right? We ain't doing that kind of shit. We're being for real, and we tell the truth here. All right. Um, and so along with hookup culture is we live in a the age of information. It's an online world, and that's great. That's great. There's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of power in that. I mean, if it's January 30th, 2021, just for future reference. And there's some shit going down right now, legit, and it has to do with Reddit and GameStop. So if somebody comes on this video a couple of years from now and you don't know about that, you're gonna want to look into this shit because it is real. It is big, but I'm pretty sure you will have heard about it by then, if not already. Because this shit just started like last week, right? I mean, we're only like 5 days into this, and and these fucking Reddit trolls have yoinked $70 billion from hedge fund managers on Wall Street. It's amazing. It's amazing. So when I say there's power in the internet, there's power in anonymity, and there's power in collective. Like, we're looking at it right now. We're watching it happen, and it's beautiful. Um, so anyway, the online world, I mean, that changes things. Whether you want to believe it or not, or whether it's good or bad, it doesn't really mean anything to me. Like, I don't care, but it does change things. So again, I'm 40 years old, and so I'm in the kind of unique. People my age ish are in a pretty unique perspective in that we grew up trying to date without the internet, and then the internet showed up, and now goddamn near everybody is trying to hook up or date or whatever on the internet, which again is fine. Like, y'all do you. I ain't making no judgments. Um, but it does change things. It makes sense. So for a guy like me, that's kind of old school, um, trying to hook up or date or whatever online is just weird. It's just strange to me. Um, Now, you can call me, you can call me whatever you want. All right, you can make fun of me for that if you want to. No worries. It's totally fine. Um, if it's funny, I'll laugh. Promise. Um, but from what I can tell, and of course, this is by necessity, because we live more and more online, and we have to get used to that. I mean, here I am, 40-year-old dude, just getting started making videos, right? Um, like, we at some point you have to adjust, right? And so I get it. I get it. It's a change of necessity. Uh, I'm not I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying it's weird. It's different, and I got to get used to it. And so we associate with people more and more over the internet. Or interact with people more and more over the internet, which it is what it is. That's cool. Uh, but it's important to keep in mind, I think, uh, how it changes things. And here we are again. You got to be honest with yourself. Um, especially especially when it's easy. There's this thing called catfishing, right? And by the way, if you haven't figured this out yet, I'm a little country. Um, so anyway, catfishing is basically tricking somebody on the internet, that so you'll put a filter on your photos or something, and or use a different photo completely, and you catfish somebody into thinking like you're real hot, and you show up and you're just kind of an average dude, chick, or whatever. It's catfishing. Just in case you didn't know what that was. Um, and so that's shitty, by the way. In my opinion, that's a lie. That's a lie. And uh and that's no good. That's no good. We don't lie, we don't catfish, we don't do that kind of shit here. um but so yeah, you got to be careful about that kind of thing. And if you're gonna date someone that you meet on the internet, um you may as well treat the relationship like you met on the internet, right? um and do some research, do some homework. But if it's somebody that you've known for a while, like, maybe you met through a friend, um, maybe you met at work and then you change jobs and you meet up again or some shit, whatever your story is. But if it's a story that happened in real life, then you have a relationship that started in real life, and you should treat it like that. But you meet somebody online, and you got to be careful. You got to be real careful. Um, and I'm not suggesting that you don't trust anybody, by the way. 'Cause I think a lot of when I start talking about this kind of stuff, a lot of people think that I'm just like super jaded, and I'm like, you can't trust nobody, you can't trust nobody. And that's not what I'm saying. Um, I'm just saying that Be smart and be honest with yourself about what's going on and the decisions that you make, right? Um, and yeah, and we'll we'll be good, right? No worries. We'll figure it out, right? But you got to be honest about it. And furthermore, um, in just regards to just dating, and we're gonna leave the age of information, the internet, online dating, and all that stuff. Well, yeah, I imagine. Well, I imagine I'll get back to it, but for now, it's just kind of just dating in general. And this is something that I've learned. You may or may not agree, and that's cool. You don't have to take my advice, but in my opinion, um, if you are just dating, right? You can't compliment them all the time. You can't chase. That's the word. You can't chase them. You can't chase women, dude. You just can't do that. Um, but and you can't overly compliment. You can't give them everything. You can't buy them anything. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do that anymore. Because and the reason is here's where we start to sound a little misogynistic is because men have been expected to do that for so long that a woman will take advantage of you. This happens. There are women that speaking of catfishing, they'll reel you in for a date and make you pay for everything and then ghost the fuck out of you on purpose, right? If not, free meal, like bragging rights, you know. Some women are devious. Not all, but some women are fucking devious, man. And you got to be careful, right? Um, so at the beginning, when you're just dating, you can't give them too much. No, tell them they look nice. That dress looks sexy on you, or whatever you feel comfortable with. But don't shower them with compliments, and don't give them 100% of the validation that they need, because you gotta leave some for later. You know what I'm saying? You gotta not make, but you have to allow some space for them to chase you a little bit, just a little bit. A little bit of chasing is not a problem. That's no worries. I mean, you're going out on a date. That's kind of chasing. You know what I'm saying? But you can't puppy dog this motherfucker anymore. It's the 21st century. These women will chew you up, spit you out, and take all your goddamn money and leave you in the fucking parking lot. And again, not all of them, but some of them will do it, and it's true. So you just got to be careful. You got to be honest about who you are, what you're doing, and what you want. All right. And with that comes, you have to be able to say no. You have to be able to say no and walk away. If something starts happening that you're not comfortable with, that you don't like, and you're not really interested, then you have to be able to say, look, I don't like this, and I'm leaving, and then leave. Right? You can't say I'm gonna leave and then never leave. That doesn't work. You got to be, I'm done here. I am uncomfortable, and I'm leaving, and then leave. Just deuces. Peace the fuck out. No worries. Okay. This one's important. I'll come back to this in other topics. Saying no, being able to say no is huge. It's a huge deal. Um, and and I think finally I'm at 20 minutes. That's kind of crazy. Um, finally, you got to do for yourself first. You got to make sure that you're okay first. Don't you can't be. I know what it's like to be lonely. All right. Now, again, I'm 40 years old. I've kind of moved past that in my life. I like being alone. I just don't really get lonely anymore. But I used to get lonely. I know what that feels like, and it sucks. I get it. I just wanted some companionship. I just wanted that sweet temple. Uh, the only true holy ground, man. No lie. Um, but man, my dudes, you got to do for yourself first. You got to make sure that you're okay, because there's a list of reasons for this. Um, and just starting out with kind of chiming back to it, if you ain't doing for yourself, if you're not confident in yourself, then people can take advantage of you, right? Remember Murphy's law, right? If you can be taken advantage of, somebody's going to take advantage of you. All right. So you got to grow. You got to be strong. You got to do all your soul searching. Whether you look into Stoicism or bachelorhood, or if it's MGTOW, or if it's Buddhism, or any other, if it's a religion of some kind, whatever it is you need to do to figure out who you are and what you want. You got to go ahead and do that, and don't let somebody into your space too quickly. All right, into your space. Now you can, I need to bring them home, bring them in your bed. Be honest with yourself and be honest about what you're doing and what you want, right? But don't let people into your space too soon. Your personal, your real space in here, your man space or whatever, right? Your brain space. Don't let people in too quick because they don't really understand what your space is. And does that makes? I hope that makes sense. They're unfamiliar with what your space is, and so you have to be able to. But you have to know what your space is. You have to know what's going on up here. You have to know who you are, so you can at least allow someone the opportunity to learn who you are. Maybe not teach them exactly, right? Um, so yeah, man, you got to do you, and you got to do you first. So that was a pretty good one. 23 minutes. I'll take it. Probably be using some of that. Cheers.